Don't say hello when it's time to say goodbye. Yeah, it's a hydration situation where the locker room meets life and the X's and O's meets the I's and U's. So make sure you guys go to projecttransition.org, support, educate, and empower the underserved. Let's get into this. Tua, the Miami Dolphins. There's a lot of conversation. Tua needs to retire. We saw the Dolphins go out there and get beat down by my Buffalo Bills. Yay, yay! Where we at? Over there? Everywhere. 31-10, but some somber news, obviously, as Tua suffers another concussion. So the conversation is it over? Does Tua need to retire? Let's not waste any time. Let's get into this. Let's get into our dogs. Shannon said, y'all caught me. Y'all heard me. Did what I had to do to get it done and still didn't get fired. Shut up, Paul Pierce. Better recognize. So let's talk about this Tua situation. Let's go.
But the news of the night came with Tua suffering another concussion. Ocho, knowing his history, I don't know why he had already had the first down. Why didn't he go down and slide? That's my thing. You know, Ocho, you probably played with a bum shoulder or a bum something. The last thing you want to do is get hit on it.
Okay, let's talk through that. Yes, logically, 101% correct. But you guys know there's two things at play here. One is the ego, right? The ego, which helps drive us to those insane, excessive levels, right? To make it to the NFL, you got to be 0.00001% of all creatures. And then when you get there, you're going to have to turn into that guy again if you're going to make a name for yourself. You're going to have a $200 million contract like Tua, et cetera. You got to ball out. Now, to ball out, you just can't play ball, right? You just can't play normal ball. You got to do something different. So as Shannon knows, who's better than everybody right now about to talk about football, you got to go to that special place. That special place has different rules. And some of those rules you got to break. So I think Tua, ego, and also just the fact that he's the leader he's counted on, and he wants to go out there and earn what he just received. Once again, putting himself in harm's way.
So you ain't hit me on that shoulder. Well, I'm gonna turn the other shoulder, let you hit me on the shoulder. That's good. But I'm not gonna let you hit me. If I know, Ocho, I've had head trauma, like 3 or 4 of those, I'm not taking. I'm gonna slide. That's what the protection is in for the quarterback. Tell me what.
Listen, what I did see is him trying to run for the first down, understanding he got the first down. I'm not sure if he was aware of already having the first down, but you already know how you're supposed to slide. You never slide head first. As a quarterback, that's one of the first things you learn when you scramble and you come out the pocket is how to slide correctly.
Now, that may lend itself to, one, the lack of discipline of the technique. Like every single position, beyond the athleticism, the talent, is really based on foundation, technique, right? Fundamentals. And as I teach my little itty bitties, because I want them to be able to be disciplined with their fundamentals, because too many times when you got a talent, they think they can skip those steps. It's the curse of the gifted. I ain't got to do all that, dog. I'm too good for that. Or coaches wrong that talented player and don't teach them the same fundamentals as the struggling player, because the struggling player can't survive without those techniques. Tua, all that arm talent, wasn't he the number 1 player coming out of high school, et cetera? Slide, nah, you throw your way out of that. Running, I'm not really a dual threat, so what are you talking about? So could have skipped those steps, doesn't have that proper discipline. I'm talking about that muscle memory in that moment.
Tua, you already know you've had 3 or 4 concussions. You missed not last season, but the previous season due to concussions.
Yep.
So you should always be aware, not only of surroundings, but when I'm talking about when enemies, not enemies, but when you're in danger. And when you got to know when to go down. You have to.
Opponents?
Know when to go down. So I think he didn't realize he was well past the first down and didn't think DeMar Hamlin was going to close in that goddamn fast.
Great.
And it was too late. It was too late. If anything, slide early. Slide early, and you always go feet first.
That's even more of a problem if he didn't know he had the first down, considering you're supposed to know. You can see, most guys know that. You can see that out of your peripheral because you looking left to right to make sure there's no oncoming trade. Nobody's going to sideswipe you. Okay. I got this first.
Well, you know how I know he didn't know he had the first? Because he was diving head first.
Interesting. Yes. If I had to go true or false, is Chad saying exactly what Tua was seeing and knowing? I would say true. But I'm not convinced. I'm like 100%. I'm not even like 60%. I'm like, yeah, 51-49. Why? Because we all have our blind spots. And in football, there are some guys who just can't get right, we call them. A lot of sports, they say that, but in football, can't get right. Basically, no matter what you tell this dude, in this scenario, this situation, bet against him. He just can't get right. And I think, unfortunately, and this is a dangerous can't get right, Tua can't get right when it comes to sliding, protecting himself, etc. Had to take martial arts to learn how to fall. Like, you learn how to fall when you just play football. When I fall now, and I'm almost 50, November 30th this year, start sending the gifts. When I'm about to fall right now, everything slows down. Because I start to realize, I know this is going to hurt. But where am I going to land on my body and on that surface area to make it hurt the least? I don't think Tua got that. But at the same time, I got a blind spot that Tua doesn't have. Welcome to sports. Welcome to being a human.
But if you already got the first, there's no need to be going forward at all. Just give yourself up.
No, he was trying.
Give yourself up.
No, he was trying to set the tone, trying to fire the crowd up.
Nah.
That part.
Remember, you like guys to fire. You like guys to set the tone.
That was different.
Now.
That was Lamar going out of bounds and seeing the safety coming on and just give him a little shoulder to let him know it's going to be a long night.
Nah, I ain't finna give you no shoulder, not my throwing shoulder anyway.
No.
I give you the other shoulder, not the one I use to throw the football with. Ocho, and I don't take this lightly, and I really hate saying this, but two of them probably need to seriously consider sitting it down.
Here we go.
If you notice, the concussions are starting to look worse and worse. If you notice, every time he has a head trauma, he get what they call rigor mortis. It's a doctor. This is what a doctor sent me when it happened. It's called decerebrate posturing.
Hey, we all play football. I get it, bro. What'd you just say?
A rare abnormal body position that indicates severe brain damage or disruption of brain function. It's decerebrate.
When he go to Alabama AAU Tech, I can't read that junk. Oh, come on, just give us some initials, some acronyms, something.
Rigidity or extensory posturing. Arms held straight out, rotated toward the center of the body, held parallel to the side. These are some of the symptoms. Legs extended and rigid. Toes pointed downward, turned slightly inward. What? Hands flexed. Back arched or stiff. Wrists flexed away from the body.
Wait a minute. They saying everything. Back arched or stiff. Which one?
Fingers curled. How many times have you?
It could be something else, huh? Where that video at or the audio? Fingers curled, toes curled.
Seen him get that, Ocho.
Yeah, I mean, what, 3?
And and every time he gets it, Ocho, it's not, some people get it and they're a little like, okay, look, he got his bed wrong. But Ocho, he going stiff with it, Ocho.
Now that's real. Okay, so let's talk through this a little bit. Concussions. You play football. Not everybody, because I know some cats that never had a concussion. I know cats that play football never had a surgery. In football, I think I had 6 or 7 football surgeries. I've had like 10 in my life. Concussions, my first concussion wasn't football related. I told y'all that story. I'll tell you again. Some gangsters, some bloods from VNG pushed me off the swing when I was 7. First football concussion happened when I was in college. And everything else was bell rung. And they say that's a concussion now, but I'm not going there. Like, pow. I'm like, whoa. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's play again. Because they say every time you get knocked down in boxing, that's a concussion. When you get knocked out, obviously that's a concussion, right? But when you get knocked down, bang, because your body goes, and then it could be like a millisecond, but hey, you went to sleep, dog. Why you on the ground like that, right? Etc. So I was playing in the game. I was a running back. Y'all know that. I used to run track. So 100 pounds ago, I used to run like fast. And I ran a normal dive play, got like 6, 8 yards, whatever. And coach gave the old universal signal, run it back. I saw that. Our offense saw that. Guess who else saw that? They defense, especially they middle linebacker. He's sitting there. We in the Ivy League, so cats ain't running that fast, generally speaking. but they gonna hit. That's one thing about it. No matter what level of football you play, the resistance feels the same. Athleticism changes, talent level changes. Yeah, I give you all that. But whop, head knockers, oh, they everywhere. I don't care. D4, D5, it don't matter. So, Cat saw me coming. I get the ball before I even get I go like this. I swear in slow-mo. I get the ball. Next thing I know, I am in an open field. Feel like we went from playing in the Bronx, Fordham to Texas or something. That field was so big. I was like, and all I could think about was my mama. Real stuff. Got back on the bus minutes later, whatever it may be. After the game, I think we won, of course. I'm urinating on myself. I'm trying to climb out the emergency exit of the bus. This real stuff. I vaguely remember it, but I do have visuals. I'm like, damn, I was tripping, tweaking the whole day. Protocol was different back then in 1995, 96, et cetera. But yeah, concussions. And I never had this one. I never had that. The words that Shannon was trying to echo. Never had that. And imagine, I just had what they call a typical concussion. Went from getting my bell rung, typical concussion, Tua's. That's the extreme. That is, to me, God, universe saying, hey, bruh, do you not understand? Because the universe whispers before it yells. You better listen.
He's getting stiff.
Yeah. I mean, listen, at this point, I heard what you just said about him probably sitting it down or shutting it down. You got to understand, we just, I'm talking about we. They just paid Tua. They just paid Tua a lot of money.
Okay, you just shifted now. He needs to sit it down. That's the perspective of somebody saying, hey, I'm looking out for you. You just got paid is the perspective of, oh, I'm trying to make sure I earn this money, or I don't waste your money, or I don't have a bad business relationship with you. I don't care. I don't care what the money look like. Right now, Shannon might talk about it because Shannon OG vet. That money now is secondary. Trust. Let's talk.
Because he is the future of the franchise and the quarterback. In order for them to contend, he has to be at the helm to do that. Now, in order to do that, he also has to be healthy and he has to protect himself. So at this point, going forth, he was able to play all last season without this type of injury, without any mistakes. When he does come back, and I'm sure he's going to come back, I'm not sure how long he's going to have to be in concussion protocol.
Y'all sure he coming back? Would y'all come back? Beat it up in the comments.
But he has to take better care of his body, his head, and just make smarter decisions when he does scramble. Because you got to think, Tua is not known as a dual threat quarterback. It's not that many times he's going to be out there running around and taking off with the ball as opposed to a Josh Allen or, a Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson. So when he does.
Okay, let's get up out of there because I've heard that narrative before. Respect to what those guys are breaking it down. Shannon sound like, hey, it's rap, bro. Like, what you doing? Priorities. And I'm going to give it to you like this, two perspectives. One, to wrap this up with Tua. What retired me, just me, everybody got their retirement story, typically is, my best football's behind me. And that next training camp, I ain't really raising my hand for it. And I'm certainly not raising my hand for the preparation process necessary. And I don't want to run through those walls like I used to. Whatever that may mean, just I don't want to, right? And another thing is there are moments, acute injuries, just things that just yell at you. Like I said, the universe whispers before it yells. It's yelling now. Hey, bro, stop. For me, that moment was when I was in Jacksonville. I swore to myself, if I get hurt again, it's a wrap. I don't care what injury. If it's major, I'm done. Why? I start thinking about my future. At the time, I'm 32. I said, man, I got 50 more years on this planet, more years left than I had already lived. What am I doing if I get hurt again? How much am I robbing from my future family? My son gonna want to throw the ball out in the front yard. Look, I know guys that are crippled. We all seen them, right? Earl Campbell, except we all seen it, rest in peace, Jim Brown. You see old football player. I got an old football player walk. The Frankenstein mummy, like I go sideways before I go forward every step. I got that already. And I ain't in the worst shape. I ain't in the worst position. And I ain't even 50 yet. Don't make me cry in here. So how much are you going to take away from the future? How much you going to rob of what's forward for this moment right now? Come on now. So if you're Tua, you already got that money, 90, whatever, 160, even if you retire because of injury. But even if you don't got the money, damn it, is it that damn serious? You're going to have all that money and somebody going to have to tell you how much money you got because you ain't going to have much up here left. It's tough. I can't lie because no one ever, and if you notice, I stopped short of telling him to retire. No one ever should tell you to kill your dream because your dream's a reality right now. And this is going to be a death to his football life, to his sports mortality. Can't walk up to somebody and say, hey, I remember when you was 7 and you were playing and all that work you put in. How many jumping jacks? You know how many jumping jacks you do when you make it to the league? You Tua. You know what I mean? Throws. You know what I mean? Warm-ups. You know what I mean? Burpees. You know what I mean? Squats. You know what I mean? Film sessions. You know all that, and you're going to have to just give it up because of 4 plays? Think about it. Concussion here, concussion there, concussion. Yeah. And everyone's telling you, And then we went through the era of reality/propaganda with the head trauma. Parents scared to sign their kids up now for football. Why? It's too dangerous. And I'm one of the parents. Now, son, you want to play? You keep balling. My son's a monster in football right now. It's flagged, though. I'm like, you really want to play? Okay. High school, let's talk. 3-hour conversation, your favorite restaurant. Right now it's Chick-fil-A, so it's going to be cheap. And what you want to do? What you want to do? Because football hurts every day in every way. I was playing pickleball with Drew Brees months ago. Drew Brees, quarterback. When y'all think of Drew Brees, y'all think beat up? No. Oh, yeah. He did detach his arm and shoulder from his torso. Want to know the effect of that? Drew Brees can't raise his arm above his head. We playing pickleball, he wearing me out with one arm that could do anything, and the other arm, I think is his off arm, that could do it all. And then his good arm, his throwing arm, still wearing me out. But the point is, like he got to be careful. That's just one example. That's Drew Brees. Countless others out there. Brain injury, brain issues, nothing to play with. But also, your mortality in terms of sports is nothing we should play with as well. That's a tough decision. I give it to you like this. If it were me, I'm out. I got a 160 head start on life in terms of the dough, and I still got some brain cells left. Hers. Deuces. All right, y'all, that'll do it for today's episode of The Hydration Situation. Make sure you go to projecttransition.org, educate and empower the underserved. We are making sure we decode the journey for these kids for generational change. Love you guys. Got to take these